One final step to Super Bowl 33. If the eyes are the true window to the soul, then we can clearly see the desire and determination in the Minnesota Vikings and the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons' past has seen mainly anguish, but Dan Reeves has instilled a vision filled with hope and inspiration, while the Vikings have set their sights since day one on sailing into Miami. Today we see which team has enough fire in their eyes.
The light, the heat, I am complete. Oh, I wanna be that complete. I wanna touch the light, the heat I see in your eyes.
The Metrodome in Minneapolis, and boy is it loud as the Minnesota Vikings get set to play the Atlanta Falcons for the right to go to Miami and Super Bowl 33, the NFC Championship game. I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden. You look at these Vikings, John, and they have scored more points than anybody ever has in the history of the NFL. Today they play Atlanta. How do they start to work against the Falcons?
Well, they just have to keep doing what they've done all year. I mean, this is really their year. I mean, everything they've done has been extraordinary, from the job that head coach Denny Green has done. Randall Cunningham has just been superb. And then you say Randy Moss, and you have Chris Carter, Robert Smith running. And the one thing about Randall Cunningham that I like is he doesn't have just a go-to guy or one when he's going to look at all the. Whoever gets open, he's going to throw the ball to. And that's what they do on offense. And I think today they just continue that. Now, if they're vulnerable anywhere, this Minnesota Viking team, it's on their defense. And I think they're vulnerable to the run and the pass. Now, what they have to do is they have to stop the run, control Jamal Anderson. If they can't do that, then that opens up everything. Not only the run, but the play pass for Chris Chandler.
These Atlanta Falcons put together a regular season record of 14-2, 14 victories they had. Yet they're still the visiting team. That's never happened before in the history of the NFL, when the team won 14, and yet they're the visitor. What do they have to do?
Well, you know, the same thing that they've done all year. If you look at the Atlanta Falcons, you say, how did they get here? You go back in football, it's always been the same thing. You have to be able to run the ball, you have to be able to stop the run, and you have to get turnovers. And these Falcons do all those things. I think they have to have Jamal Anderson running, because then if he runs, then Chris Chandler can be excellent with the play pass. On defense, they have to decide, do we stop the long ball or do we crowd the line of scrimmage? They've already made that decision. Dan Reeves says, we're coming into this game on defense. The one thing we don't want is Randy Moss to beat us deep. We are going to take that away.
Coming up, it's the Falcons and the Vikings from the Metrodome, and John and I'll be back for the opening kickoff when this Fox NFC Championship game continues.